Welcome back to Empyrion Galactic Survival. Alright. Well, I spent some time working on the ship. As a matter of fact, I spent a major chunk of the last, I'd say out of the last day and a half, I probably spent 20-25 hours on this thing. And yeah, before anybody says it, it's ugly. It's completely and totally ugly. It is worse than sinfully ugly. This thing revels in its ugly. It is disgusting. It is a box with a pointed snout. Ugh. Yes. Anyway, in all that time, I had several mining trips. So, yeah, here we go. There used to be a cobalt deposit right here. I mined all of it. There used to be an iron deposit right here. It was about 60% or so left. I mined all of it. So much so that the markers for the deposits have disappeared from the map. Yeah, I know there's more, and that's not the issue. It's just that each of those mining operations was a 2-day trip. And then there was another several days worth of time in getting all that ore refined and getting more of the sathium refined and then putting all that into the big advanced constructor and making all of the combat steel blocks. Now, when I started construction on this, I had 600 combat steel. After that, I made at least another 800. And all of it is there. Some of my goals were achieved. A major amount of the ship does have combat steel 2 layers thick in the hull. It has the 8 minigun turrets. It's got the big heavy landing legs. And yes, I used some of my huge amount of concrete to build this landing pad. And the texture tool or whatever it is to put the black and yellow striped warning marker thing around the landing zone, so on. And since you last saw the ship, there's been some changes in the inside. I wonder why it is this game defaults to having the jetpack off when you first load in, regardless of whether it was on earlier or not. Yeah. Okay. Landing bay for the broken tooth. Fixed up similar to the landing pad below. I've added more fuel tanks. You see, since the project started, the developers have added the Tech 3 fuel tanks. And they hold a lot, especially if you're using large Promethean fuel packs. That's a lot of fuel. So that's good. Added oxygen tanks. Got a med bay down here. There's an oxygen station here. And then up here on the engineering deck, got the 2 large generators. I've got cargo boxes. I've got ammo boxes. More of the original 10 Tier 2 fuel tanks. And all of this stuff. And all of this, and a little bit more that I'm not going to bother with, basically adds up to a great, big, very expensive pile of crap. Because I even got a gravity generator on here for when it goes into space and so on. And yeah, this thing's a pile of crap. It's junk. I have spent over 20 hours gathering resources and refining resources and crafting components and placing stuff, only to find out that what I have built is 10.2 kiloton paperweight. This thing masses 10.2 kilotons. And I call it a paperweight because it can't fly. At maximum thrust, it's got the ability to barely hover about 10 or 15 meters up. Beyond that, it doesn't move. It's crap. The whole design is crap. The whole concept of this design is crap. And there is only one cure for it. I'm going to have to disassemble this thing. Break it back down into its components and use those components to build a fresh set of materials and then start over, building it all over again. And to give you an idea of what that means, you see, in order to disassemble something in space, in Empyrion, in order to disassemble the ship, what I have to do is get the multi-tool, which I have equipped right now, and I have to sit here and do this. That's one block. There are well over 1,000 blocks of combat steel on this ship. The equipment and devices will be a whole lot easier to take down, because if you look in the upper left, they have a lot less in the way of hit points. 80 hit points for the fuel tank, 120 for the grav generator. The oxygen tank is 25, no big deal. The elevator block's 50. But the combat steel is 500. And this thing delivers 20 hit points of damage per shot. That means, in effect, it's going to take, by my estimation, no less than 5 to 8 times as long to take this thing apart as it took to build it. And while I will, over time, do that, I am not in a frame of mind to even consider doing it now. So, as a result, there's going to be a little bit of a hiatus. Because, yes, it's true, the game developers have given us all manner of POIs, and there's alien critters, and there's drone bots and whatnot to fight and so on. But I'm not here for the fighting. I'm here for the building. And I was willing to take the time and spend the effort and do the digging and the mining and the processing and the crafting, even though it's painfully, agonizingly slow with absolutely zero way to speed it up. The prospect of taking this thing apart is an even bigger job than hollowing the mountain out of that hangar, which I'm beginning to consider something of a failure as well. So, until I've got this thing completely disassembled and all of its parts tucked away in cargo containers or crafting units and whatnot, and I start crafting the stuff needed and start work on another ship that hopefully doesn't suck as bad as this one does, then Empyrion is going to be on a little bit of a break. It may be a couple of weeks at least, because frankly, after I record this, it's going to be several days at least before I even have the heart to start this thing up again. Yeah. I'll take the hit. It was my fault. This design, or whatever you want to call it, it came out of my head. I'm the one that built it. I'm the one that used the stuff that I used, and so it's entirely my own fault. But while I will go ahead and I will do the work and put in the time, and I will tear the thing down and use the stuff to build something else, I'm not going to do it right now. I'm just not. I've looked at this thing for so long over the last week that I can't look at it anymore. Not right now. Empyrion Galactic Survival will return. There will be more episodes in this season 2. And sooner or later I will get a capital ship put together of my own design that works, that does what I want it to do. Unlike this abomination upon the eyes. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.